Hi guys and welcome to the circus. First of all, I would like to say sorry for the delay of this video. I know that the new Pale Moon set was released for like a week ago and I still haven't uploaded my thoughts towards it. It was because I was playtesting with it. I kept on trying different builds, different ratios and something like that, especially on the triggers, the grade 3s, and sometimes the grade 2s and 1s. So after roughly more than a week or so, I finally decided to share my thoughts towards the new Harry in Standard. First of all, let's talk about the card. We are first going to talk about the main grade 3, which is Harry himself. So, Masked Magician Harry's skill is Vanguard on place. Choose one of your front row rear guards, and for this fight, it becomes a stage. So, Pale Moon has a new mechanic called Stage, where you stack all axle circles you create into forming one single circle, which all the power gained from each circle are given to the unit on that stage. Also, note that if you ride onto another grade 3 which is not Harry but still acquire a Axle 2, once you ride onto Harry, you will still choose a circle to make it a stage, and then all the previous Axle circles will merge together into one. This stage mechanic will go towards the different units, especially on the other star of the deck, which we'll talk about later. The next skill is Act on Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, CB1, discard a card. Then call 2 Magiadals from Soul to rearguard circles, and they get plus 5k for the turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can call 4 instead of 2. So we have another archetype for the clan, which is Magiadals. So far, we have 4 Magiadals. We'll talk about them as we go on. But to give you guys a brief description of them, they're all Workeroids. They're somewhat like a chibi version or a doll version of the previous units in G. You'll see when we get there. So this is Harry, and let's talk about the Magiadals. The first Magiadal is the grade 1 Magiadal Dark Side Mirror Master. So, she's the former Sentinel in G, and now she's a grade 1 with a skill that says, on rearguard circle, when placed by the ability of Harry, you countercharge 1. All other Magiadals so far have the same first skill, which says, when retired on Guardian Circle, you may put it in the soul. You will see this skill on all other Magiadals that I'll show you. Next, Magiadal grade 1 is Magiadal Flying Periton. So this is the doll version of Flying Periton back in G, which is a really insane card, by the way. His skill is auto on rearguard circle. When placed by the ability of Harry, you draw 1 card. So you guys will start to see a pattern here where all Magiadals only work when called by Harry. Moving on to the grade 2 Magiadals, we have Magiadal Prana. Her skill is auto on rearguard circle. When placed by the ability of Harry, one of your vanguards, and this unit gets plus 10,000 till the end of turn. The next grade 2 is Magiadal Lunatic Dragon. His skill is when placed on rearguard circle by the ability of Harry, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it in the soul. So these are so far the 4 Magiadals available in this deck. But as I said before, there's another star that makes this deck give more presence on the board, which is the first grade 4 of the clan named Starry Pop Dragon. His skill is continues on rearguard circle. For each Magiadal rearguard, this gets plus 5,000. So when you successfully call 4 units from Harry's skill, Starry Pop Dragon goes up to 20,000 alone. Another skill is auto on rearguard circle. When placed on a stage, get an imaginary gift Excel. As I said before, we have a new mechanic called Stage, and Starry Pop Dragon is the one that gets benefits from this mechanic. So when you place Starry Pop Dragon on the stage, you immediately get an imaginary gift Excel, which turns into another layer of the stage and gives Starry Pop Dragon more power. His last skill is what you need to fulfill in order to make him work, which is when it attacks, if this unit's power is 40,000 or more, during that battle, this gets plus 1 crit and your opponent cannot call sentinels from hand. At the end of the battle, retire this unit. This is one of the ways the deck puts pressure on the board. You can also consider this as your win con, like what I do, or you can consider this as your finisher. So, Starry Pop Dragon is a grade 4. How will you call it if you're only a grade 3? This is where the next unit comes in, which is Lore Pigeon Pop. When we were playtesting, I just call him the bird because he's a bird. So, Lore Pigeon Pop's skill is auto on rearguard circle. When placed, you may put a Magiadal from your drop zone to your soul. So, this guy is basically a recycler for Magiadals when they go to the drop zone. Usually, Magiadals go to the drop zone when they're discarded from the cost or when they're retired by abilities. Other than that, they either stay on the board or you can use them as intercepts or shield power in hand. The bird's second skill is what makes Starry Pop Dragon consistent. which is auto on rearguard circle. At the end of the battle it attacked, if this unit is on a stage, cost Counterblast 1, return this unit to your hand, then call a Starry Pop Dragon from your soul, drop zone, or deck to stage. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So, the moment you have Lore Pigeon Pop in your hand and you want to use Starry Pop Dragon, you can use him pretty easily because it doesn't say that it needs to hit, and as long as you have CBs, you can get Starry Pop Dragon pretty consistent. Also, the fact that the bird can call the dragon from the drop zone or the deck makes it even more amazing. So, this is the new shenanigans of Pale Moon, and now I'm going to share to you guys my thoughts towards this new mechanics. Okay, first of all, the moment that I read the skills of the Magyadals, I was kinda sad because they only work when they're called by Harry. Meaning, if you don't have a Harry Vanguard, you can't use them. This is another case of like what they did on Silverthorns, where they made it into an archetype-based deck where they need the specific name of Silverthorn to actually work. They're not generic units, which was kind of unfortunate because I would really like to try this out with Nightmare Dolls because they're workeroids. They did what they did, so we can't do anything about that. At first, I was really amazed by the skill of Starry Pop Dragon, but when I started to play test it, I felt like something was off. Personally, I was used to play a rush game because of Nightmare Dolls. So I tried with that approach first, and then to be straightforward, it really doesn't work that way. Because of the main reason that if you decided to go Axel 2, which is the best option most of the time, you won't get to use Starry Pop Dragon's third skill on your first grade 3 turn. Even if you go second, once you've filled your board with Magyadals, which makes up to 5, and one stage, that only adds up to 35,000. Meaning, on your first grade 3, you will need to rely on a trigger to actually work. If you put the power on Starry Pop Dragon, you will meet all the conditions. But if you don't, he just becomes a beat stick on board and eventually retires himself at the end of the attack. So that was one thing that I found that was a bit off so far. But to be honest, that was just on my part because I was used to play a rush game. So I took a step back and then tried to cope up with the changes in playstyle in this deck. So as I played through, you will most likely meet Starry Pop Dragon's condition on your second grade 3 turn. So you will need to stall a bit in order to get that condition working. But once you get there, you'll start putting pressure on the board. Because on second grade 3 turn, you will now acquire a third Axel circle on Starry Pop Dragon's skill, or even a fourth circle when you actually have a second copy of Harry and ride him again. So that adds up to potentially 40 to 45k, which is more than enough for the condition if you actually have a full board of Magyadals. Okay, let's start talking about Lore Pigeon Pop and Starry Pop Dragon. In this deck, you will need Lore Pigeon Pop in your hand as soon as possible. Because if you don't have Lore Pigeon Pop, you can't use your win condition / finisher. On the positive side, you will only need one copy of Lore Pigeon Pop in your hand because his skill bounces himself to your hand so that you can use him next turn, which makes it consistent. You just need an open counterblast for him to work, and with all the counter charge you have because of Darkside Mirror Master, it's actually doable. Now, on Starry Pop Dragon's side, again, most of the time, you can't really use Starry Pop Dragon's third ability on your first grade 3 turn, unless you actually pull a lot of triggers on the drive checks. The fact that he retires himself after the attack is quite okay, because Lore Pigeon Pop can call him from almost anywhere, which is really consistent. So you can actually just run Starry Pop Dragon as 1 or 2 off to be safe, because having a lot of grade 4s in the deck really makes your deck less consistent. Now let's start talking about the Magyadals. We have 4 Magyadals so far, and each unit really gives this deck a lot of power. Darkside Mirror Master counter charges, which makes your counter blast on Harry and Lore Pigeon Pop a lot more consistent. Flying Peryton draws you a card, which is really nice because it gives you free pluses. Prana gives 10,000 power to both her and your Vanguard, which makes really good numbers. And Lunatech Dragon removes a threat on your opponent's board whenever you need to. Take note that Harry only calls different names. I forgot to mention that earlier. So you will need all 4 Magyadals and Soul to maximize Harry's skill, and also help Starry Pop Dragon gain his third skill. Okay, so I would like to share my current deck build, and I would like to ask for your opinion about this. Let's start with the grade 1 lineup. We run 4 Magidol Darkside Mirror Master and 4 Magidol Flying Periton. I wanted to maximize on all Magidols because you need them in the soul as soon as possible, especially these two grade 1s because they provide the pluses. What I do most of the time is, if I have these grade 1s in hand, I like to guard early so that they move to the soul as soon as possible because they're dead in hand and in field. Also, you don't need Counterblast on grade 1 and 2 because your only Counterblast works on grade 3. Next, we run 4 Masquerade Bunnies. This searcher is really needed here because you need to always have Harry as your vanguard. You don't need anything else because if it's not Harry, your Magadolls in Soul are useless. Plus, she's a 13k booster whenever you call the card from Soul, which is easily met in Pale Moon. Moving on to the grade 2 lineup, we run 4 Magidol Prana and 4 Magidol Lunatech Dragon. Again, maximizing on Magidolls is really important. Guarding early is fine because you need them in Soul, and just having multiple copies of them really helps a lot because Harry can only call different names of them, so you really need the 4 Magidolls in Soul as soon as possible. Last grade 2 is 4 Lore Pigeon Pop. Again, Lore Pigeon Pop and Star Pop Dragon are your win cons / finisher in the deck. You need Lore Pigeon Pop in your hand, at least one of them, so maximizing him is okay. I actually tried to run only 3 of him. It also works, but maximizing her makes your win con / finisher a lot more consistent. So yeah, that's that. Moving on to the grade 3s, which is, by the way, the one that I was struggling with because other than Harry, other grade 3s in standard Pale Moon doesn't really synergize with the Magidolls, except for some. So for Masked Magician Harry, which is obvious, you need him as the vanguard 100% of the time, so maximizing him is a must. Also, multiple copies in hand doesn't really hurt because you can just ride him again next turn, acquire another Axel 2 that adds to the stage, and eventually adds more power to Starry Pop Dragon. Next, we run the one-off Dorian. Now, Dorian is really good here because if you want to plus on your first grade 3 turn and you have Dorian in your hand, you essentially have free plus. After calling the Magidolls, they're stuck there unless you move them to the soul. Dorian is your other way to move them back to the soul because of her skill. It's just sad because she's a one-off now because of the ban list, and I would really like to run more of her. I would like to have 4 Harry and 4 Dorians, but that's not the case here, so we'll just have to cope up with that. Next, grade 3, which is actually inspired by the other channel that I watch, which is 2 Nightmare Doll Alice. Now, all Magidolls are Workeroids. So, if you have her in hand, you can create a little multi-attacking on your first grade 3 turn if you need to. You can ride her and call a Workeroid from Soul and create an Axel Circle if you don't have Harry in hand. And she's not a dead card even if you have Harry as your vanguard because it creates multi-attacks. But the bottom line here is that other than Dorian, other grade 3s doesn't really synergize with this deck. So out of all the previous grade 3s, Nightmare Doll Alice really takes the cake. So she's just here to fill in the spot for the grade 3s and adds more options middle to late game. Finally, we run the 2 Starry Pop Dragons. Again, Starry Pop Dragon along with Lore Pigeon Pop is your win con / finisher of the deck. You can actually just run one of him, but sometimes Starry Pop Dragon goes to the damage zone, so the only way to get him out is by healing it out. If you don't, you lose your win con / finisher. So adding that extra Starry Pop Dragon in the deck helps a lot. Finally, in terms of trigger lineup, I actually tried to run different ratios to find what triggers are needed in this deck. At first, I tried to run 8 draws, 4 crits, and 4 heals. 8 draws because you need to draw into your Magidolls. You need to draw into Harry, and you need to draw into Lore Pigeon Pop. Plus, your Starry Pop Dragon already has a crit and prevents Sentinels. Prana gives both your Vanguard and her plus 10, and each other Magidolls gains plus 5 from Harry. So, you already have decent amount of numbers on your board. The only thing that I wanted to plus out at the time I started playtesting is your hand size. Because sometimes if you lack the number of Magidolls on your board, you are forced to call one from hand, which minuses 1. Yes, Flying Periton draws you a card and Axel 2 draws you a card. Other than that, I would really like to draw more cards to survive until I get that finisher / win con. So at first, I decided to run 8 draw 4 crits. 4 crits because if I check the crit, I would like to give it to Starry Pop to add more pressure. But eventually, after playtesting a lot again, sometimes I felt like it lacks a bit more. So I decided to cut out the draws and provide fronts. I tried running a bit of a non-focused trigger lineup, which is 4 of each. 4 heals, 4 crit, 4 fronts, and 4 draws. And so far, it really works out because when you check a front, everybody gets plus 10. So adding power to Starry Pop helps to get his third skill. At the same time, boosts your front row to put more pressure. 4 crits to have some clutch drive checks on your Vanguard swings, or add more pressure to Starry Pop Dragon to help seal the deal. But other than these 2 ratios of triggers, I haven't tried other ratios yet. If you want to recommend any trigger lineup, please comment them down below. I would really like to hear your opinions as well. Overall, my thoughts towards this is it's pretty fun, but not as much fun that I had in Nightmare Dolls. So far, it's not that diverse of a playstyle. It's kind of like in the same alley as Silverthorns, where they call a bunch of stuff from Soul, makes good numbers, and then start swinging. But if I were to point out anything, I'd like the playstyle of Harry more than Silverthorns. So far, because we haven't seen the new VR of Silverthorns yet. Also, as I was recording this video, there was actually a new release that supports Harry, which is Card Dealer Jacqueline. Whatever. Card Dealer Jacqueline. Her skill is Auto on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle. When placed, cost Counterblast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to a total of 2 Lore Pigeon Pop or cards with Magadal in their card names from among them and put it in your hand. Then shuffle your deck. If you revealed 2 cards, put a card from your hand to the soul. This is actually pretty good because it searches out your Magidals, which actually makes up slot for more cards. You will have more ways to gather those Magidals and put them in the soul because she actually adds to the soul after you fetch those cards. Plus, she searches out Lore Pigeon Pop, which is really nice. It adds more consistency, basically. I still haven't play tested her, so I'll update you guys in a few days, I guess. But before that, I would really like to hear your thoughts towards my current deck build. Please leave it down in the comments below. Again, sorry for the delay of this video, and please stick around for more updates on this new archetype in Pale Moon Standard. So yeah, if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.